Welcome back to the channel, everyone, for part 2 of the chimney chase video. We've got this chase pulled down as I illustrated in the previous video, and just kind of recap, we had contractors that were working on it, made a few mistakes along the way, and here is a picture of the drain pipe they cut into. They also cut into one of our water lines, but they shut that off before leaving for the day. I ended up having to fix that myself along with the drain pipe because, as you can see in this picture, the drain pipe actually goes from the upstairs bathroom out into the chase, down the outside wall and into the basement. The T is right there behind that board that's sticking out, and the piece that goes up is the vent pipe for the vent stack. Okay, continuing on with the project. I haven't been filming as I'm going along here, just simply because it's hard to set up a camera and this takes so long. My batteries wouldn't last long enough. I received the zero clearance fireplace, and that is in place. I've got some sheeting put behind all this pipe work. If you remember from a few minutes ago in the video, there was insulation there. I got sheeting behind this, so that's all sealed up. I got to seal up this hole down here, and I'm ready to put in this front wall here. The zero clearance is sitting right on top of the fire brick where the fireplace was going to be, so we're really good there. We need 1/2 inch clearance around all of this, which I have plenty of. I got clearance all 3 sides. I'm going to have a good inch or 2 on the back side, and I've got 1/2 inch over here. This is the wiring from the previous one that had a fan in it. The new one does not. Got a good 1/2 inch clearance here, and I got my duct for my cold air intake all set up and ready to hook up. That's just going to be a straight stop right out the side. I can get my sheeting on here, and I can get my post here. I'm going to leave this back open, at least in the first level though, so that I can get to this in case I need to move things around. Once I get this outside sealed up, I can start working on the inside, and the whole thing is going to have to shift forward probably about 1 inch. Once I get this tile off on the inside, we'll be able to shift this forward, get it in its rightful place. We'll have more gap here even, and then I'll be able to, with this open back here, I'll be able to get my ductwork up through to the top of the chimney. But right now I just want to try and get as high as I can with this chase so I can get this sealed up. Thought about taking more pictures and video along the way, but really this is just a standard frame construction. I use 2x6 for everything because I'm going to have stonework on the outside of it. I want it nice and strong, and it gives me lots of room for insulation to go in there and lots of gap on the inside. Double layers of headers, lots of strength, emphasis on strength throughout it. I used multiple ledger screws and mounting points throughout the height of the chase, and extra bracing as well. Here's a view of the zero clearance fireplace from the inside. Now I've got all the tile work pulled off on the inside so I can get this mounted properly. What they don't show you in the manual is these things need to bend out and then screw onto these 2x4s in your framework, or 2x6s, whatever you're using. That was not illustrated. I couldn't find it anywhere in the manual, but it was very obvious that's what it was for. So get those bent out, get them screwed on. That'll make it nice and solid, and then it'll also give you your spacing that you need. So I've got a good 1/2 inch of spacing with those flaps mounted to the 2x6s, and it gives me the exact positioning I need there. When I get back to the inside work, I'll be putting rock board around this just for a little extra fire prevention, heat resistance, and that rock board will be what I mount the tile back to. And then I'm going to have a beam that goes across the top here, sits right on top of those little triangle pieces that you see, and that's where the framing work should be done. I was able to get everything level, everything in place, and everything looks good. Another tip for you as you're leveling these, the metal that's used, it does kind of warble a little bit, and you have to push down on your level to make it nice and flat when you're checking for level position, just because there's going to be some bulges in that tin that's being used in the metal. And right here, ladies and gentlemen, is why this chimney leaks. So looking at this, you can see that there was no cricket here. And what the cricket is it's a piece that goes up against the chimney to divert water away from the chimney. And what we've got here is a condition where water coming down the roof line has no choice but to butt right up against that chimney. And you can see there that there's some flashing there, but you can't stop that. You get 3 feet of snow and it's just going to sit there against that chimney face and slowly eat away at that until it works its way in. The construction of this took a really long time and a lot of effort because all that plywood had to be carried up and then mounted against the chase. If you'll notice in that picture there is a 2x4 screwed to the face, and what I did there is I screwed that right to the face of the chase and then left a gap above it. So the next piece of sheeting I would just drop into place on top of that 2x4, on top of the previous sheet of sheeting, and then I can just screw it down without having to lift or hold it up in place while I was screwing it in place. Another thing I did around the top here is added a 2x4 layer, and that is for the stonework to go up against and for the chimney cap to sit over top of. That just gives me my gap between the two. And here is a picture with the chase completely done. I used some roofing underlayment to weatherproof it, and as it turned out later on, I found out that you need underlayment underneath the wire mesh for the stone to stick to, so I was able to just leave that right there and use it. My initial thought was just weatherproofing, but it turned out to be a needed item. So that's going to take care of the underlayment. Normally you would use 2 layers of like that tar paper roofing, but this underlayment works just fine. And then you can put your metal mesh on and then attach the stone right to that with some mortar mix. And I'll put a link in the description below for the YouTube channel that I use to learn a lot of this stuff. And very good channel. Check it out. Watch his videos. Ready to start more stone. We've got our lath up, and as I've been told, lath has a direction and you want to make sure it's going the right direction. So like on these pieces here, you can see that they go up at an angle like this, and you want the mortar to come down into it and hold. It's important to have that going the right direction. They want like 1 inch or 2 overhang, and we've got that. And you want it supported in between, so I've got some floppiness here that I need to nail down. Some people use screws, some people just use roofing nails. I've heard it done both ways. I've got the nails. I do have some screws I'm going to use too. Some of these smooth shake nails aren't holding as well as I would like them. They will hold great when it hits a stud, but when it's not, it seems to be a little flimsy. So I've got this in, and I'm going to be doing the grout run pretty soon. I've heard 2 different ways from 2 different masons, one being get up about 6 feet or so and then do all the grout at once. Another one, another mason was saying that do it all at the same time so you don't have any cold joints. Could go either way. I'm going to continue with what I've already started and just getting the stone attached and then coming afterwards with a bag to put all of my grout lines in. I got a bit of a tight joint here. Could be hard to get some grout in there. That was one of the first ones I did. So hopefully you can forgive me for that. But we are ready to move up, and we've got a long way to go. This is the slowest process ever. It's like playing a game of Tetris where every single piece is different. Size, weight, thickness, the whole bit. And you just have to keep working on it. Also, you want to make sure that you put lots of anchors in the mesh. You can use roofing nails. I've also found screws work well, outside decking screws. But whatever you can get to hold that down.